That's not enough to shore up the firepower gap. I don't know what will be.
This off angle is a common one. You see a lot of Jet players on Abyss playing just to try and catch that contact early on, and he sees it, signs of life, but he can't escape. Bloody hell, suppressed by the knife, so he actually couldn't dash in and away. There's a dart's going to be used nice and early. Crew not committing past that point, just waiting it out and walking back up. But Foxy9, quick to respond, takes up that space once more, but as he swings out, he's not expecting, again, Crew to be in these spots. It's disjointed, it's individualistic at its core, and DRX, not enough for them to really win out this map. It's going to have to hit some shots, and land them they will. At least Mako, into the moment, has made it. That 2 versus 2 onto this pistol round. They need this win, they need it now. Damage done, almost single digits to a lot of them. Mako, and a distraction necessary and enough for Flashback to just respond from the side.
Crew did a decent job of getting into position, and they read the fact that DRX wanted to go for a flood. But once they planted safe back here, there was no exit. They were just stuck.
Down B, launching down towards mid.
That is a classic way that DRX have been playing this map. They've been trying to get massive value out of the op, and on rounds where they don't have it, they'll set up some kind of like flash and dash play, aggressive out of B or aggressive through mid. So watch out for those at the start of rounds. Watch out for Kesnit!
Oh, goodness me. Yeah, if you're not awake after that, you will be. This guy is ridiculous, Kesnit. He's playing the Omen as well. I mean, a lot to make out from this Crew comp.
So he has actually played Omen once before, weirdly. Don't ask me when. I've no idea. I was just looking at the stats and, all right, okay, apparently he's played it once. So, very experienced, Kesnit, on the Omen.
Of course. Yep. To be expected.
He knows all the tech, like buy a sheriff and kill them in round 2.
Yeah.
Tens loves that one.
With the mid player taken out, though, Buzz gone. There's a big gap in through. You can already see the pings on the minimap from DRX. They're worried in case there are those lurking players. And the Harbor Wall, Melzer holding it down at least. He will be able to separate out most of this site. Foxy9 wants to play close now. Avoiding, letting them even getting into the site here in front of the Cove. It's very heads up, but he's going to be overwhelmed anyway. Outlaw into the hands, flashback into the secondary, but not able to land the sheriff's shot. Still, Mako is here, waiting to receive. They're all going down to the classic right clicks. It's a disaster right now for DRX.
So there you're playing into the people with classics in hand. It's just, it's a fine decision on a rifle round, bad decision on an anti-eco, I think. MTA's already got null command online, but it's Heat's ability to get out of here unscathed.
Yeah.
That might be more important, because he's just donated a Vandal over. They're looking to recover this.
Kesnit, he's just going for it, man. He's not shying away from the fight. Does he realize that one player slipped past him, though, and including that rifle, picked up at least the guns, but flashback off to the side. And as well, we'll just put one straight to the dome, but lots of players ready to receive, and it will be no risk. Like, that's my second highest player in terms of who I was rating coming into the event.
Now that's crazy.
I've got the opposite of the Midas touch, because so far I'm not predicting any team correctly or player. But Buzz needs to get value, and his opping has been consistent in the past. This time, though, the wall rips its way across, and as well with these doors broken, DRX are watching it with a crossfire said, but it weakens a lot of the other extremities as a result. Asks a lot of them.
Buzz can shore up the B extremity, so it's only really A that you're worried about. But once things go silent, now you're concerned that Crew are grouping up and about to hit into, you know, Buzz with a drone to push him off the angle, or hit into A. Mako's going to be confident enough to jiggle peek out A and get a little bit of information, a bit of security there. So they're feeling good about the A site right now, but all throughout, they're having to be careful towards mid. 0 point now thrown out towards A main again. DRX still feel like A is safe, and that's exactly the timing that Crew are using to group up. Yeah. Straight after that 0 point. It's perfect calling from Melzer.
Exactly, and Kesnit's still inserted as well, which means Foxy9 has to have his eyes directed into a different location. Mako is the sole recipient of all of this aggression of smoke. Just lay it down nice and early and sprays it away and will play for his life. But the door's going to be broken. Still trying to take this fight offset with the movement. It's nice by Flashback. He does answer straight back into it. Drone. It's going to be used, pressing forwards. Melzer's alone, though, and isolated. Rezzed up. Adjustment. Transferring with the rifles, and now no time. Not available here for Crew. They will be dropping and fall.
It's only ever been a single player to make sure and give them information.
Look at this.
Yeah, that's a hard read.
Hard read, hard anti-strat.
DRX have been playing a ton of Abyss. Yeah. If you wanted to look at any team in the world, I think DRX, I don't have the numbers to hand, but I think DRX have played it the most. It feels like they opt into it a lot. They've been picking it tons in Pacific. So they're comfortable there, but it also means you kind of have a read on how they play. And they do the same stuff a lot, like this position from Buzz. I'm surprised he's still here, to be honest.
Yeah, but there's a blind spot in the cam too, so he's available to be perched up here. Anybody to break the drone? No, it's him himself who has to commit to this, and a lot of Utah's going to be sent flying forwards. Crew not backing away from this fight. In fact, they want to be the ones to draw that blood up and the bound. This quick scoping, Buzz is able to find the one, and there's no return of that fire. No trade in sight, still alive and kicking. And finally, the reinforcements flooding back in and around, but the bullets running out. Buzz, how the hell are you still alive here? Dash back online, Shorty in his hands. Foxy9 finally there with him. Over the shoulder, leaving it just down to Shy. Bullet straight through, and Buzz
going to take it towards mid, so he's found that success on the west side of the map. Now looks to see if he can bring the sniper rifle to the middle. I don't think he's really going to get the angles here against the harbor.
No, double smokes, very difficult to get yourself through.
I must wait a moment.
Despite that fact though, DRX are up in terms of the economy. It's not crew down. Drone around the mid round here. Util broken with the cam. Taken care of.
Nice and bold from Buzz, getting himself back onto these angles. So much better re-clear of mid this round. But look, it's still going to be a split.
Yeah,
Buzz could definitely ruin this.
It's all about whether or not Buzz can even spot this one out. But again, High Tide works its way across. Crew calling for that pause. Oh my, okay, that is scary stuff. Pushing back and through. Flashback takes the timing pass, but it's watched for, traded out and around. Hunter's Fury up through heaven. That's a connection onto the two, but they weren't anticipating that the players would hold their ground. It's down to just Heat. Last one left in through A main, but the spike is dropped down, unobtainable. With only 25 seconds to work with. Running short of basically any sort of win cons. He'll contact most of the way, but a discipline of DRX here. It's just watching every approach. Bane catches it. I know where Heat is. Only 8 seconds left. This is a round win for DRX, just about how they play it. And Heat will look to do any sort of damage. Not that it's going to matter too much. At this point, DRX are perfectly happy. Economy strat play, or an anti-strat.
Yeah. At the same time, though, DRX are really good there, so. Very solid team on buy.
Yeah.
Crew are putting such an emphasis on the middle of the map, trying to get value out of this harbor. DRX, their players are being drawn into this area, but it's not like Crew have been able to exploit that by exploding into sites.
Yeah, they have been dragging, as you mentioned, players to watch it, even potentially going for a contact re-clear.
This is wild.
Foxy9 is alone when he sees this one. Only the one play. It's Kesnet jumping, hopping around, but the fact that there was no punish should be a tell in itself. There's that solo player flash peek as well, Kesnet. Might see a bit of an overheat as well. He's still got plenty more util where that comes from. TPing all over the place here, but calling for that pause and a different angle for Buzz, but still the same value. This guy has got that consistency when you put that up into his hands. And considering the dart just to get that info, but he spotted one player before the smoke was up, so he knows that there's at least some presence into this mid angle. Again, they've called for that reinforcement. Buzz, though, smoked off now. In for the wall, he's going to hear these footsteps right past him. Wilted away, and there aren't really enough discipline in terms of the way the Crew are playing this one, but potentially able to barrel their way through regardless with that brute force. It is chaos. The spike is just isolated, picked up by Kesnet. TP's back and away again. Anchoring players, not expecting it. Flashback.
Way over towards mid.
Mixing up a decent amount. Crew going for that 1-1-3. This is really risky, but Bane comes out on top anyway. He was in no man's land and in no position to get a kill either, yet still comes up with it. A nasty adjustment.
Termi was worried about the firepower diff, but I think with the performances we've seen in these last few rounds from the DRX players, not something to be concerned about. Actually, I think it was more so the flood defending from Crew that Termi wasn't given enough credit to be honest, in that coach's interview, which we'll see whether that has impact in this game once the sides swap.
Exactly.
But for the moment, not really getting much value out of this. Are they going to try to commit Harbor ult here? It's good against an Opper, but Buzz dodged it last time.
Yeah, drone's going to be used at least to, again, circumvent that position. But Flashback is caught by the knife here. And as well, that golden beam of light up and over. Flashback is forced to make that play. Pushing forwards is traded. Hunter's Fury used to try and help them out. Buzz as well, he tried to get back into the action. He's dropped as a result of it. Now the plant position isn't the best here. Playing to the side of Cliff. Means the KRU do have to commit a lot of bodies to try and hold on to side control. That does leave an opening for DRX. They've saved some util. It's in their back pocket. The dart and a paranoia. MTA in the off angle. Needs to be that trade. Shy. He joins up, links it all the way through. Bane spotted up onto that high ground. Has to know what his last two players are. But now, wrapping around once more. Slowly as you go. But a real difficult round to win. Set up here. Shy taking that first one. Knows there's a player tucked. Again, the off angle will not save you, but again, time is of the essence, and it's starting to tick away out of the grasp of Bane. Win cons diminishing, and with, yeah, I mean, that's gone with a circle just shrinking. 4 players waiting.
They've been putting the sight. Oh, they're doing the flash and dash play.
Flash and dash play to try and fight for that control early on into the cloudburst, but the dart doesn't reveal too much, and Buzz, yeah, I mean, he handed over towards that weaponry. Players have dropped, though. That was Mako committing an ult into Spawn at the same time. And he's going to be paying the price for that. So the slow play, I mean, you really have to overextend yourselves as a defender to try and fight over that B main angle, as you saw, and it ends up meaning that DRX was stretched a little bit too thin.
I assume that DRX have chosen this round because they were worried about the null command that MTA's just popped. You don't want to allow KRU to get into position and just exec on you with this ult. So they tried to disrupt the game plan. Unfortunately, doesn't quite work for them. Can they recover here?
Yeah, they're right back into it. Flashback, though, backs away, just only with the one kill. He wants to play for his life. He knows it. At least with the teammates who are arriving, but not expecting that Melter's already crept up onto that deeper angle. Shy, finally with the plan. There's no chance in hell MTA is getting a res online, so he's going to be dropped just post Mortar. Bane, high ground angle, reset, at least enough to get the 2. And Flashback dropped down into that 1v2, not enough.
I'm trying to hard anchor sight.
Oh, has to get broken here. Glide its way forwards. Knife does not get broken, so Buzz wanted away from the angle. He'd love to be back up on top of him. But
and KRU walk away from Buzz.
Yeah.
Ah, the player with the op who's been ruining our chances of getting into sight. So I think we'll go the other way, actually.
Completely different angle.
Heat looking to maybe invest the drone here to fake as if it could be over towards B. But the team's grouping up on A. Look how weak the A site is right now. Only Mako home.
And DRX aware of that, though. The drone clears most of the way through B main. 55 seconds onto the mark. KRU could call a cancel, but with how big the map is, Knife tagging just onto the 1.
Only 1. And now, as the drone comes out from Heat, surely they don't group up A on defense.
It could be false confidence for DRX. They do have the crossfire. Mako, paranoia. They know he's isolated onto that corner, spamming away into the one-way. MTA, he can't respond and he can't back his teammate up. They are trying to fight this one. Pound for pound. Mako, he's just swinging into this one with really barely any util. Left 4 and Buzz happy to oblige and take part into the action and fight. And up through mid as well. Everyone dealt with.
Advantage heading into this.
Yeah, it's been KRU consistently on that back foot. A lot of players tagged, at least the 2 as well. KRU still just trying to brute force their way past this one into the one-way, but rivals in hands. DRX will hold this one. You're not going to be favored there. There's no util to set up DRX into any sort of advantage. Or at least KRU, I should say.
I think that's a spot where KRU should probably be investing smokes. Seems weird to smoke off your own avenue, but just to take a little bit of control. That's a headshot. Knocks Bane down weak.
DRX
Could there still be danger in the 3v5?
Yeah, you don't want to let this one slip, do you? But seems like they're grabbing necessary kills across the map. Not sure how that one came about here, but Cove makes it difficult. Flashback's already way ahead of it in a distraction play. Bane capitalizes. This is a much better beginning, as we already mentioned in that prior round.
Effective. Got to imagine they're going to use it here on one of the sites.
Careful.
Battle towards this main angle. No one dealt with the dart.
What a play from DRX.
TP
That is absolutely lovely. Reminiscent of what teams will sometimes do in that Ascent A main play. DRX have taken all of the sting out of this round. The Reckoning down instantly. the teleport up recon so that you can get kills through your smoke. Yeah, Buzz falls. Crew have been able to find kills like this in the 3v5 spots, but normally the damage has already been done too early.
Yeah, and DRX have been usually tempered enough that when these sites get pressured, especially over towards B, doesn't matter. They're going to be able to get a kill, back away.
Wow, my eyes are down.
Never overextending their hands here. Flashbacks gets that acknowledgement. Cage are going to be put back up here. Shock darts removing most of the trips. Knife for a knife, darting through the back as well. Needs to be broken here. Crew starting to walk their way back up, but again, all the noise is being made, and DRX should know this one. Adjustment, Flashback, he was blind as a bat, yet still manages to come up with the one before the trade online. Kesnit, it's just an ult to try and pick up the spike. It was out into the middle of nowhere. A tap with 22 seconds left, but you've got to start to commit into this, and again, ice cold by DRX. Happy to slow it down, and now the full commit by Kesnit. Paranoia makes his way across, leaves it just down to the one. Kesnit backs himself away. He's hoping that he'll be able to get that easy fight. Singular in action. Does isolate just the one onto Foxy9, but it's still a 1v2 to overcome. Smoke up into the one way, but one for their own here. Jumping around. A tap. There's the danger zone. Kesnit in potentially a bit of trouble. The dart pushes him back and away in, and up for Bane to just get that half. Sticking and grabs it.
Feels more like a read that DRX would be heading in this direction on the pistol. It leaves B extremely weak. And what we saw from Crew was success with flood retaking. You can't flood defend if you're not close to the site that's being hit. This map is enormous. If DRX went for a B exec right now, Crew would still be migrating.
Yeah.
The Great Western Push.
It is. It's massive. Rotation timings are a big problem for a lot of teams. There's a kill trip that's laid down, even though there's a heaven smoke, but by walking all the way up, DRX are able to navigate it easily enough. Going for the plant down. It's a good plant spot too. Committed into the boxes. It's very strong into the post plant. You can allow most of DRX now to retreat into the main angle.
Crew are trying to retake here with no flashes.
And they're just trying to make a go of it. They've already made their way in through the side. And watching that one, Flashback gets taken care of. In through mids, and a peek by Foxy9 is not set up at all. Buzz trying to at least even out the odds of the fight to be taken. Again, doesn't adjust in time up through that heaven spot. And now Melter sticking at the fuse, spamming into the angle, but a Cove defending against most of these bullets. Half is earned. Another smoke. Blooms and blossoms. Kesnit with the kill, and adjustment again. Flick of the wrist, tapping away with the guns, and there has to be reclaiming it. Bane backing up and running into it. Oh, my!
DRX to be able to repel that. A 4K from Bane. Crew is still putting a really heavy emphasis over towards A. 4 players beginning on that side of the map. Feels like VOD prep to me.
Yeah, potentially just praying for an early skirmish as well when they're on the eco.
Alternatively, they might be very confident in their B retakes from scrims and less confident on A, but that would be a weird way to play the map.
Yeah, most of the time you see teams trying to fend towards the backside of A. A Crew have rooted themselves in, at least for this round. It's a gamble stack, of course, and DRX are going to be handed a nice open sight over towards B.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's going to be any danger here. We're seeing Mako's calling. Be very cautious, though. Doesn't want to run into any of these stacks. Foxy flashes, looking to see if he can get some info.
Might hand over a gun if he's not careful.
I don't like this. You normally want to be sending Flashback to do that because he's the one with the ghost.
30 seconds left.
You've just prime delivered them a bulldog.
Yes. And it's not ideal despite that. I mean, DRX, they have an open sight, still planting for Cliff. I'm going for something potentially a little bit better for it, but
Camera, I must wait a moment.
Crew now grouping up, ready. Try and make a good go of it. The cam was saved just for a rainy day, and that was now, so they get that information that there's 2 players from DRX out through into the back. Got to wait for these smokes now to get pushed up into the position. 1 flash held. We'll see if there's any danger very soon here for Crew. Drone used, time already running short here, but that Bulldog finding value. It's up to these site anchoring players. Mako trying to reposition up and around, and again, Kesnit a tap onto it. No way, you can't let this. You squandered an opportunity. Not again. Kesnit sticking. Half everybody's fallen, but the time is on their side, KRU.
Like, oh, whoopsie daisy, now we have to stop them from defusing.
And yeah, just looks like a lot of exec util. Everything being combined. Concatenated, Shido just takes a bullet to the side there. Thought he was safe, at least into his cage. And now KRU have much less options in terms of trying to deal with this one. They won't be able to push back the plant.
Better
That's
plant.
going to go down, and it is a better plant at that. So DRX holding their positions now. The flank from Kisnet will have to find value, and he does have options to at least get past the initial trip. Drone in and through, and spotted. Buzz out, tagged up, pushing him back and away. There's still no two of these players here, but that's being heard by Flashback, and he deals with the flank. Pesky problem with Kesnet, dealt with now. Flash in through the back as well, and bullets to follow through off the back of it. Hunter's Fury forced to be used here, but a knife is going to be cancelling that one out, so no, oh no, just out of range. I stand corrected, and a tap of the spike will force them out wide. MTA now got to do the most, but with the rifle in his hand, just not enough to get over that barrier. Still heat, adjustment, snappy, tapping away. Can't quite get it, the easy kill. Time was never on his side.
They're going to be able to figure out a setup like that if you run it the same way every time.
Paranoia to come on position there. It's going to be catching most of this one, and draft. Oh my god, just dashing into the face of it. Yeah, full understanding that Shy was going to be backing away. There's only a few positions he can play. Flashback looking up through mid. There's supposed to be that instant response from KRU as well. Ults are being committed with the no command sweeping through, but he's missed the chance to strike from behind.
Patience!
Yeah, it's not being played just in that moment here, but MTA dropped down to his knees. A res possibility for it. DRX did get that plan a little bit prior. As there, tap onto the spike, forcing out most of the util. Kisnet smokes to play with, util on top of it. Nades rebounding, echoing past. Flashback stepping up to the challenge, right past most of this fight. Meltzer not able to stick this one, sprayed and spammed down onto that angle. Heat trying to get tricky with it again, pushing and forcing the issue, but Buzz, the timing is impeccable. Dart reveals Kisnet is alone, and not enough to overcome.
For them to adjust the setups. And they have made a bit of a swap. Shy is now playing off-site towards B. They've got two players there on the B side of the map ready to support. This is finally them threatening mid-control.
Yeah, which we thought they were going to do.
We thought they were going to do tons of this. This is the first round where we've really seen it. Is it too little too late?
There's bullets flying past Melzer. It's his teammates trying to make it feel like there is still obviously presence to the top of the site. There's nobody that's lurked up. Trust me, guys, Melzer's not pushed up in this spot. Difficult one. Ult committed. That's an interesting one, yeah. I mean, Macca's right through this, and the timing taken right past them here. And this is going to be a squeeze and a pinch into these A anchoring players. MTA dropped straight to the floor here. Hunter's Fury being used to again push them back. Heat will be able to get at least some value from that with Mako falling. Flashback holding off angle. Claims to kill onto Melzer. And DRX to kill feed that is filled up with red, at least for now. Kesnet traded. And so all the options that at least were present, available, were moved shortly after here for KRU. Not able to hold their ground onto that one.
And brutal. I mean, look at the webcam for Heat.
Yeah.
It looks like he's had a tech issue again. That is a brutal one. A tilter, too, because damage already done in the round. Listen, I don't work for Compops, but the rules, as I understand them, are that you're not going to replay a round like this.
Not if there's been damage done.
He was also in a 1v3.
Raring to go over towards A. It's a slow wait, seeing if the knife gets used, but the timing of it is awkward, so it is going to catch most of them here. Pushing them back and away. And they want nothing to do with A now, not that they showed at least presence towards that area of the map. Maybe that was always part of the game plan.
Shy is pushing up. So this is the first time we've seen Shy go aggressive on defense over here.
Yeah, might be able to at least get a kill. There's a fight about to be taken while mid is being pushed.
Flashback's going to miss that.
Yeah. Backing around. It's a real awkward one. Jump spots abound. Up through the ropes. There it is. Flashback strikes. And with Shy down, so goes the setup over towards B. So no command not even necessary. And he's really just done enough. It's two removed. Heat. He was running his wee little legs there as fast as humanly possible. But at this point, it's weakening out the defenders. Player spotted out over towards the A side. There is time still available, and with all this space gained and pushed up, vacuumed up here. Flashback even with that third. It's cracked open a side and essentially won them the map with that.
Yeah, I think if it wasn't curtains already for KRU, that lurk play and those kills have certainly driven the dagger into the heart.
Yeah.
Kesnet and MTA looking to pick up the pieces. Ooh. And it's a 4K, possibly on for the ace here as well. Can MTA shut it down, or are DRX going to be thrown into bind?
MTA survives, flashbacks on 5L, running his way around. No ace today. But it is inevitable. MTA just making us all wait for a little bit. He's going to give it a good go, but already, look at the angles to account for here. I mean, Buzz has already just taken up this position into Spawn Blade Storm right behind him. Let's knives out. He's behind him. He's toying with him. He's walking up right behind him. Oh, no, 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 no. It's like a horror movie. But 13-6 for the finish. Map 3 bind, ready and waiting.
And if there was ever a final kill in a map that showed you a team has recovered from being battered in map 1, reset their mental, and are feeling perfectly confident, literally toying with the final player.
Yeah, this is it. I mean, DRX have definitely pulled themselves back up. The momentum now firmly behind them. The morale turned around. We're going to be sending it to a break on the other side the rest of the series.